country and came to experience the many astronomy presentations that people on our group did, as well as other people from around Iran. It was an amazingly passionate and very much a very passionate way that they deal with astronomy.
So how did you find your interaction or your other colleague with this young group that you went there? How was the interaction going? Were they friendly? Were they... Tell us a little about your experience. Hospitality. How was the hospitality? How was the food? We get to that later.
All of that stuff, yes, that's right. Well, the interesting thing was that, yes, we came into Iran, and many of us have not been there before. A few on the group have been. Mike Simmons, who was one of the people you saw on the video, he's been there. This is his 4th time there. So he had an idea that Iranians do welcome Americans. But it's more than simply being just polite, that you're a visitor to their country. When they find out you're American, they want to come over and talk to you and find out your views on various issues. They want to talk to you about things. And particularly the astronomy side of things, they wanted to pick our brains around lots of different ideas they have. Many of them were thinking of building telescopes. And we got some very good conversations going with them. But again, part of where I'm leading to here is that, yes, there's a view as an American as to what Iran is like. And I had, I think, the stereotypical view that Iran is part of the axis of evil. I mean, it was something that was presented by you know, various politicians in our country here.
That's a good point you're bringing up. Yeah,
and I've got to say, we weren't immune from that level of discomfort, even when we were there. And within the first few days, it was one of the puzzling things we saw. There was a riot or a demonstration outside the British Embassy where people were protesting against the British involvement in the Iraq War.
Correct.
And also, we saw lots of signs around the place that said, "Down with USA." And I think there's a video segment that I have.
Okay. Okay, here another clip that Liam, you want to mention it?
Yes.
Tell us what's going on?
This was one of those puzzling things that we saw. It's right by the university where the Venus Transit Conference was, and we drive by this every day. And it's a sign that says, "Down with the USA, down with Israel, and down with England." So we were all thinking, what does that really mean?
Yes.
Because at this point, we hadn't got a chance to really meet the public. We were in a university, so we're thinking, well, maybe if we meet people around Iran, would we find that that same view of a problem with the USA and Iran would be represented in the interactions that we had? And that's where I've got to say it is totally opposite to what you would think from having those signs.
I believe that people are becoming like indifferent about those signs, because those signs were put there, and nobody really pays attention anymore to those things.
No, that's right.
Did you find out that way?
Yes, although you've got to understand that there is someone in the country that is doing that. But I would say I did not meet anyone in the meetings that we had, and we met people from all different walks of life up and down the country, and we didn't meet anyone that represented those views to us, and they were very embarrassed about it. So
lots of people do not believe that, because I think they see the a better benefit in having friendship with the U.S. than that kind of animosity, which is really something very silly to me, because I don't know, I'm not into politics, but that is very irrational in a way. So lots of young Iranian, I believe I can, you know, I have some contact with them. They don't like that. They don't like to be presented that way.
No.
And I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good point that you mentioned.
And I have some more experiences to share exactly on that.
I was going to ask you, did you have any interaction with young people? You said you met lots of young people in group, but did you have any interaction with any individuals that you want to talk about?
Yes, I did. Although it was an organized tour that was supported by astronomy magazine of Iran, that in Iran is called Nojum magazine.
Nojum, you know, means the star, basically.
It does, that's right. Yes, exactly.
You know, so the galaxy, basically.
Right, okay. Anyway, that group arranged for us to visit many different astronomy organizations all around the country. And the one that stuck out most was one that actually is a story of a small astronomy community, or a small community in south of Iran, called Sadat Shah, where they have an amazing large group of people involved in astronomy throughout their small town. The small town has between 10 and 16,000 people, so it's much smaller than Orange County, all right? But their astronomy activity is about 1,000 people.
Is that right?
So you remember OCA
so you don't
has
expect
900.
that kind of activity
No,
going
exactly,
on.
and it sort of show it. We have questions like, well, why is that the case? And that's one of the reasons I went there, was to see this. And I think I have some video to show you that I took.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to share that with our audience here. Let's see if we can do that. What number that would be?
This is actually Astronomy Mad, which is number 4.
Number 4, if we can see that, that would be great. And here is the sign that you were talking about. This is where the conference was, correct?
That's right.
Okay,
and
do we hear the audio here?
Yeah.
From England and all other countries here, people want to thank you. That's why I'm here to thank you in English and welcome you here. I hope you will be at home here, and when you go back to your country, say to your government and all your nation that Iranian people is very friendly and like to have a relationship with whole the world. We are not enemy with each other. We are friends with each other.
They have built themselves without any funding from the government there.
And that's the village. What part of Iran? You say the south of Iran?
It's the south. It's near. It's quite near to Shiraz, and this was on our way to where we were going to be viewing the Venus transit.
My God, that was beautiful scene. I mean, did you do the videos?
Yes, that's right. I went there.
Scene over there.
I also have a cable show on Adelphia, just like you have one.
I understand you have been presenting this in different cables. Can you tell us
Yes,
about
I've actually
what's
also been showing this video on various other local cable channels. I was on KOCE last a few weeks ago, and then Cox Forum as well as another one, and then an Iranian satellite network as well.
Okay,
because really it's about, I think it's such a surprising story.
The message.
It surprised me, and everyone I tell is just so surprised when they see those friendly Iranian faces sort of talking to us around all of this. So, but an interesting thing was on that night that we went to the observatory, we were treated to really an event that was more like the Oscars.
I see.
We were the visiting American astronomers coming in and to their town, and they invited us to a big town meeting. And that was what you saw earlier on. There was a bit of video that was about that, and the welcome was from there. But one of the surprising things is the sort of mistakes one can make when you're going into another culture. I made a gesture that in this country would be considered very positive, but in that country it could have been an international incident. But I've got a good story that it didn't turn out to be that.
Okay.
And but
here we go. You will see that. Okay.
See that? I'm very happy, and I'm saying, hey, thank you for being so happy for us to be here. And I was doing this 2 thumbs, and and this is showing you again some of their. You can hear the whistling in the background. They presented us with various plaques.
I see Mike there also.
That's right, and everyone wanted a photo with us, and everyone wanted us to sign our signature on any piece of paper that they
were
could give.
Treating you like a star.
They were. They absolutely were. And you may have just seen Paul Wicker there, who's the Galileo guy in full garb, and he gave presentations to the public, young people, about the Galileo story.
He's very active in Orange County. In fact, he was in one of the programs we had, the Mehregan. He was acting like a Omar Khayyam. You know, he was presenting that, and I recognized him from there.
That's right. That's right.
So how did you? Let me ask you the part I like to ask you. How did you find the food there?
The food. You know, I do. The food was very. We had quite a bit of different variety of food.
برنامه برخورد اندیشه ها را مشاهده می‌کنید. برای پخش آگهی و یا اسپانسرشیپ این برنامه با ما تماس بگیرید.